Hi.
Hey,
Here you go. You enjoy.
thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night. Thanks. Inside that kid's mind, he's like, man, that guy's a bum. And the reason why is because their parents train them. They train them to use discretion, for the longevity of their lives, even though it kills other people. See, I have an uncle that suffers from a severe mental illness, Joey Looney. And really, he's not really that crazy. I've seen crazy. Trust me, I've seen crazy. Joey has some problems. But see, what happened in the end is, even though my parents told me to fear him and to stay away from Joey, and if I ever do make it, I do want to do a documentary about Joey. But if he, I know that he had cancer. One thing about cancer, though, is a cancer doesn't really kill you. It's the treatment of the cancer that kills you quicker. But the thing about Joey was, I was told by my family to stay away from him because he was dangerous, because he was a street person. But the thing is that all of a sudden, towards the end of his life, even though Joey never had a big house, and if I do make a documentary about him, Joey may end up in a place kind of like this towards the end of his life, because I plan to make it. And Joey Looney, the thing is that really he wasn't that bad of a person. We actually, as Josh used to talk about how he loved to play with him, and he'd have water guns and stuff like that. He'd have these water guns and things like that he'd play, with us and play, Cowboys and Indians. And he'd love to play, and we didn't understand that he was mentally ill. We just thought he was a lot of fun. And lo and behold, towards the end of his life, he has a wonderful wife. That's all the gold and silver and diamonds in the world is your wife. That's all the gold that you can have. So he has more than most men. He has a wife that actually loves him, or a woman that cares for him. I don't know if it's his legal wife, but it's a woman that cares for him. That's all the gold you can have. You don't need anything else. You can make it work. But see, my father was very jealous of him. See, my father should die alone. He won't. But my father doesn't want to die because he doesn't want to have to pay for the things that he did, because he doesn't practice what our Messiah teaches. Because he's very selfish. He's a very selfish man. He's very mean to my wife, and so is his relatives and stuff. See, my father has his second wife that's hanging on to him. My mother left him. My mother abandoned him and left him. But my father taught me to fear Joey and told me to stay away from him, because my father uses what's called discretion. And the only one that can use discretion in this world is Jesus Christ, of course, and Jehovah, the God of everything. Jehovah can use discretion. But when we start to judge people, man, that's a pretty nice house right there. See, my father lives in what all the Republicans people, all they live in. This is their God. See what you're looking at? That's their God. This beautiful house. That's who they worship. They worship money, and they worship that right there. And that's what it's going to look like whenever they go to hell. It's going to look like that. And they're going to walk in. God's going to have them walk into this beautiful house. And Satan's going to be in there waiting for them for eternity. And Satan's going to lead them to the second death in a beautiful house just like this. Because that's what they worship. They don't worship God. These people can't worship God because there's people starving to death on the street. But they have their arguments. Even though Jesus came down and told other people, you will burn in hell, rich man. You will burn in hell, rich man. They still find reasons to twist scripture so they can even have more. This isn't enough for them. While other people starve to death on the street, they laugh. They laugh at people like Joey Looney. And it's amazing because Joey Looney has just as much riches as they have. He has a wife, finally, towards the end. He had to go through all this homelessness and all this hell. That's a huge yard. He had to go through all this homelessness and all this hell. But God gave him a wife that loves him. So he has just as much as you rich pigs. And the thing is that Jesus came down and he clearly said, if you have these things like this right here, these wonderful things right here, if you have these things, you will burn in hell. That's what Jesus said. He said all rich people will burn in hell, and he's right. And the rich people know it. They know it.